ourselves about Islam. There's a series of lectures that are being held by Brother Shabir entitled What the Public Needs to Know About Islam. Everyone is welcome to these lectures since everyone can benefit from some knowledge of Islam. The next lecture will be held on women's rights. It will be held on Saturday, February the 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. on 1168 Bloor Street West. Please join us there. Before we go into the break, I'm going to let you know that our next session is going to be a question and answer session, so don't go away.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Welcome back. At this point, we're going to look at your questions. Before we get into the questions themselves, we'd like to remind you that if you have questions for us, comments, suggestions, anything you'd like us to know, please visit our website at QuranSpeaks.com, and from there you can get the details as to how you can reach us through mail, email, you can call us, anyhow you like you can reach us. Getting into the question, well, Shabir, one of the questions that we've gotten these days is concerning the stoning ritual performed during Hajj.
Yes, and people are wondering about this because it seems a little bit strange. They haven't heard about this before, and then they hear about people dying during the stoning ritual. What is this all about? Well, the stoning ritual is a very ancient one. It goes back to the tradition of Abraham. The book of Genesis in the Bible tells us that Abraham was commanded to go and sacrifice his son. Now, the Arabs had maintained the tradition that Abraham, as he was about to go and sacrifice his son, he was tempted by the devil. And in response to that, Abraham stoned the devil. But then further along, the devil appeared again, and Abraham stoned him one more time, and then a third time. So 3 pillars have been set up at these locations to mark the spot where Abraham stoned the devil. And then people maintained the tradition over the centuries of ritualistically stoning the devil as well. Stoning this pillar. It's not really the devil, but it gives one a kind of a mental preparation. Now, when Muslims go to perform the pilgrimage, they repeat this ritual in order to get themselves mentally prepared to always be mentally stoning the devil, so to speak. So the devil, according to Islamic theology, comes in, gives you thoughts in your minds, tells you to do certain things, inspires you towards evil. But then your response as a Muslim should be to mentally say, no, I'm stoning you, Satan, get away from me. So one gets mentally prepared like this, and I think it works. You see, if you ask a professional golfer, how do you get that ball from here all the way over there into that faraway hole? He will tell you that, in fact, before he hits that ball, he gets himself mentally prepared. He can visualize the exact arc that this ball will follow in order to land in the hole far away. And by getting himself mentally prepared in this way, then his brain will instruct all of the limbs in his body to cooperate in a particular way so that he will stand in the right way, he will hit the ball from the right angle, he will with the right amount of force, and so on, so that that ball will follow that arc exactly. Of course, it doesn't do so immediately without practice, but over time, with practice and this kind of creative visualization, he eventually gets it right, and that ball follows the course exactly. So in a similar way, Muslims, by performing this ritual, they go through this mental exercise of getting themselves mentally prepared for meeting the devil in the wider world.
Now, isn't there any way to actually save lives? In this case, where this ritual does make sense, and it is a part of Hajj, and I'm sure it's been happening for years and years now, haven't they figured out any way of actually stopping that stampede, from saving people from actually dying during this ritual?
Yes, there is a way actually, and in fact over time the authorities have made gradual improvements to the way in which things are done in order to maintain human welfare. One of the things they have done over time is to create another platform so that people can go from above and stone from there. They have obviously lengthened the pillar for that purpose, so some stone from the higher level and some from the lower level, thus minimizing the crowd on each level. One further thing that could be done is that lanes could be made so that people can only access the pillars by going through well-ordered lanes, in which case nobody can crush each other because they go in one way, come out the other, the traffic flows continuously in one direction, and everything is a breeze. You go, you stone, you continue on. What happens now is that because there are no such lanes, people are coming in throngs, trying to get close up so they can get an aim, and those who finish stoning are trying to get out, and so there is turbulence with forces pushing inward and forces pushing outward, and somebody falls, and if he falls, then he gets crushed. So that could easily be avoided, and it is up to the authorities now to look into that and to create such lanes, which makes sense. It's just a simple operation, and things will be very orderly.
Thank you for your answer. Another question we have for you is regarding the hijab issue. With France banning the hijab, Muslim women still go out on the streets and they protest this. What is the reason for all this?
Well, I think many people find it difficult to understand why Muslim women will be supporting the availability and the use of the hijab. Many would think that Muslim women want to be liberated from the hijab, but actually quite the contrary. There are different opinions about this, of course. Some people want to be liberated from it, and some others want to be liberated with it. And I think this is a larger voice in the Muslim world right now, especially in relation to this move by France to ban it. Because even if somebody was not taking it seriously before, now she wants to take it seriously because she sees this as a kind of a challenge to her own core values. It is not just simply a matter of saying, look, you do not have to wear the hijab if you don't want to. This is saying, no, you cannot wear it because we know what is better for you. And even if a Muslim woman was not taking the hijab seriously previously, now she wants to take it seriously because she feels that her very faith is being challenged, that somehow someone out there feels that Islam is a rising power and wants to crush the advance of Islam, wants to force people to either melt away from Islam or to now take it seriously. And many are actually, in fact, deciding that the best way out for us is to take it seriously. You can liberate me from some oppressive practices, but you cannot liberate me from my God. Now, when many Muslim women observe the hijab with the conviction that this is the way in which they please God, to liberate them from that would be to take them away from the God that they believe in. And this is what others need to understand as well when they try to frame laws and when they try to speak to Muslim women. Now, to continue with that, it is important to understand that many Muslim women would feel, in fact, quite naked. They would feel raped without the hijab. So for this Muslim women, it has to be allowed for them to practice the hijab if that is how they choose to live. And Western authorities ought to cooperate with them in that.
Thank you for your answer. That concludes that session. We're near the end of our show, but before we go, we'd like to remind you to go online at www.quranspeaks.com. Please donate generously, help our cause. Also, when you are there, submit your comments, your questions, anything that you can give us to benefit this show, and we will try our best to incorporate that within our show. We'd like to thank you for joining us this time. Please join us next time. Peace be with you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu